My name is Margo Crawford, and the name of my company is called Business Sherpa Group. We are a group of essentially corporate human resources professionals that have come together to offer virtual human resources services, full complement of services to mainly small companies, whether they're technology startups, owner-operated businesses, non-for-profits. We operate in Ottawa, Toronto. We do some work out west. We do quite a bit of work in the US, New Jersey, Boston, and some in California as well. My background, I've been in corporate human resources for over 25 years now, and I was also worked in a number of different environments. In 2000, I was a co-founder of a technology company in Ottawa called Meriton Networks. So really enjoyed that experience of building a company from scratch and understanding all of the business pressures. So not just coming in with an HR, here's all of the checklist of things you need to do, but rather how do you build a business and what matters at different times. A company knows when it's time to hire when certain business triggers happen. I think one of the things I see companies do is immediately think that the first thing they need to do is just grow. And the reality is that a business builds based on certain triggers hitting, whether it's a financial milestone or a technical milestone or a customer milestone that has to be hit at certain points in times. And fundamentally, those are the same triggers that you should be using in your recruitment planning. Knowing what is going to happen at certain points in time and sort of backing up from there and planning out, okay, now we need to start thinking about adding staff, and keeping in mind that it can take up to easily 2 to 3 months to actually have someone in a seat in your offices. When you're thinking of a recruitment plan and how it falls into your business strategy, I really encourage my companies that we support to be thinking about that right when you're forming the business plan. You create a business plan knowing what you're trying to achieve, whether it's a product launch or you've got to develop a certain technology. You might have to get it out by a certain time. You know what financial milestones. So you have a whole bunch of metrics that you've put into place and a timeline that you're trying to hit for those metrics. Those are the exact same milestones that then form your recruitment plan. And the reality is companies that just react to a need because it becomes painful are behind the game. They can get in front of that and know what they need based on those milestones. The interesting thing is I think the job description is the output of a much more important exercise, which is stepping back and really figuring out what is the profile, what problem are we trying to solve with this hire. And very mature companies and people who've been in startups many times over jump to describing a job. We need a software engineer with these skills and it's a new grad. And they define a person, and which is very typical, and you create a job description on that. I really find in those instances, oftentimes you get down the path and you realize after meeting a number of candidates that that's not really what you wanted in the end. So I think what is more important is, before producing the job description, stepping back and thinking, we have a hire. What is our problem? What do we need? And that need can be skills, knowledge, work experiences, industry experiences, fit within a team, all of those things. So I really try to encourage companies to think about what is the profile that you're looking for, the success profile. And I actually divide it up into those categories. Once you do that, it's very easy to create a job description from that. So it's sort of a byproduct of that versus trying to imagine a person in a role. I also think that a job description, particularly in startup businesses, needs to be compelling. You want to speak to the candidate who fits for your company and for the type of role. It shouldn't be vanilla. I see so many job descriptions that go out that, could have been pulled off the internet, and it's got, here's the duties, responsibilities, here's the tasks that you're going to do, and here's the skill set. They pop it out and wait for, legions of people to come roaring to their door. And they might get that. But I would think in a startup, the element of fit is so important. You want to speak to the culture. Think about the compelling aspects of the job description. Don't forget about describing what your culture is like and what type of fit you're looking for in the company. The elements of what the tasks are and the skill set, in my mind, are secondary, particularly in a startup where fit is so important. And frankly, oftentimes the skill sets change. You bring someone in a startup, and yes, you might describe the skills you need as being defined from A to B, but the reality in a startup is everyone has to do from A, to Y, Z, whatever. Don't lose sight of the fact that this is a precious resource. It's money that you're spending, it's time, it's the direction of the company. The top advice I could give them is to really, really take that time up front. Don't rush. The fact that you're ready to hire doesn't mean you have to rush to hire. It just takes a little bit more thought, and I just find companies don't spend time with that. As soon as they need someone, then they are in a rush. And my goodness, when you start thinking of what the expenses are in your business, what is your biggest cost? It's almost always your salary costs, right? It's a huge part of your business cost. Plan well, search creatively, choose wisely.